Welcome to the Losers Bracket Final. Group B is gonna finish with the series between Rospiedol and the Cats. So, we're going to Battlefield of Eternity as our first map. One of the teams is gonna advance to the playoffs and the other team will have to take a shot at the last chance qualifier. As always, with the games that we have here at the Murky Cup, there are a couple of rules, obviously. Rule number 1, heroes can only be played once within a series. And the second rule is that we have bounties. Bounties galore. If you haven't really heard about the bounty system yet, then you have been living under a rock a little bit. This has been going on for a few weeks now. But a quick reminder, we have basically double the prize money. Well, we have two prize pools. Prize pool number 1 is 1,000 euros, which is set up by us here for the top teams. So as in any other tournament, the top teams are battling for the prize money. And then we have a second prize pool that is crowdfunded, where you can contribute if you check out the link in the description of the video. There's, by the way, also a list of all of the bounties if you want to check that out. But yeah, the bounty prize pool is crowdfunded. It's something where people have asked in the past if they can directly contribute to tournaments. That's the way to do that. But this prize pool, or this bounty prize money, is something that the teams can fight for by completing bounties. So as you continue through the tournament, you can complete these quests. Each team in the tournament can complete each of these quests once. If you complete a quest, you get a point. If you lose one of those quests, so if you attempt it but you fail, then you get half a point. And then at the end of the tournament, we're going to take a look at how many bounties were completed in total, how many points were accumulated in total, and then each team gets a share in relation to how many points they have been able to grab in relation to the entire number. So the more bounties you complete, the better for you, the more money you'll get, but it is obviously a risk and reward assessment you gotta make. It's a risk to go for any of these. These are heroes that you don't, or heroes and talents and things that you don't see in competitive play. So by definition, by choosing one of those, you are accepting a handicap. If you do that and you win, you dip into that second prize pool and you can get a lot more money depending on how many bounties get completed in total. But you also take the risk of losing the game, maybe losing this series, dropping out of the group, dropping out of the tournament, who knows. So it's really something where the teams have to try and focus on this a little bit and think for themselves, like, is this worth it? Can we get away with this? Is this something that we can actually pull off? And some of the teams have gone absolutely deep on it, especially in Group A. We had so many teams just going for bounty after bounty after bounty. It was a bit ridiculous. And some of them will reap the rewards, of course, as this goes on. We're going to see probably a little bit more as we're heading into the playoffs, where we see more best-of-5 matches, because as heroes get eliminated with every single map, the hero pool shrinks, and then those picks might become more attractive. But the goal is to A, show viewers some new things, but not force the teams into them, and B, to also give an opportunity to weaker teams that normally don't make it into the top 3, where they would receive regular prize money, to at least get themselves, you know, a little bit of prize money, a little bit of pizza money by going for bounties instead. Now it is BOE and Rospiedol with Cho'Gall. Okay, so Rospiedol is going for a Cho'Gall bounty. Now, to be honest with you, I have to double check here, but I thought they had that completed already. So I'm not 100% certain on this, but there is actually a chance that they already completed it. And I have it listed as them being done with the Cho'Gall bounty. So I'm a little bit confused by what I'm seeing here. Either it's a mistake on my end, where they haven't completed the Cho'Gall bounty and I noted it down the wrong way, or they don't care. Because you can't complete a bounty more than once. And they go for Gazlo. Alright, we had teams obviously go for Cho'Gall multiple times. So it's not only a bounty hero. You can still play the same hero, obviously. You're just not completing another bounty. But they want to use Cho'Gall and use him as a power tool. And then they go for the Gazlo bounty instead. Okay, IQ 200 right there. BOE, map number 1 in the Losers Bracket Final. Game number 1, the Cats in blue, with Drak here on the left, on Thrall. We got Herath on Imperius. Taichessa playing the account, the second account of Nano, is playing Hanzo. So again, this is not the actual Nano. Nano is playing for Team Copium in this tournament, but this is actually Taichessa. And we have My Try on Chen and Captain Rex on Anduin. Over on the right side, Rospidol, they already completed the Cho'Gall bounty previously. Again, you can only complete each of the bounties one time. You can still play the hero, which is of course what they're doing here. They have Makotzel on Cho, they got Bronic on Gal, Barlo on Oriel, Cesabos on Vala, but they still want the bounty, so they are going for a Gazlo at the top lane. Give him the clamps. It's the clowns in the house. And Vala with an arrow build. I haven't seen that in a while. It sounds a bit weird, I know. We are on Battlefield of Eternity, I know. Arrow build is great here, I know. But we have seen for a long time, which is basically the last 1.5 tournaments, nearly exclusively auto attacks from Vala, even on Battlefield of Eternity. So it's kind of cool that in this case, we're getting some arrow action again. This is obviously a fantastic map for it, specifically after you get your level 7 talent. I mean, as Chris would tell you, we can obviously play an arrow build on any map, which he has done time and time again. But right here, it's going to be arrow, Vala, plus Cho'Gall, and then Gazlo on the side. I've talked about this a little bit with Cho'Gall just in general, because Cho'Gall was banned multiple times against Rospidol. There's of course a few teams that love to play Cho'Gall when they have a chance. Oftentimes it's not really the case, but I feel in this tournament Cho'Gall has been more of a powerhouse than he was in previous events for sure. As I say that, he might actually die, and does. So already cursed immediately. Caster curse strikes, and the Cats are able to claim it. As a quick reminder, the Cats made it into the winner bracket final where they faced off against Team Copium, and it was a very, very close series. But at the end, the Cats were defeated. They dropped down into the losers bracket final, and this is the first game of the day, the first match of the day that they are playing, whereas Rospidol already went through a few battles themselves today, so they're definitely warmed up. But the Cats, they are the final boss. They are the ones that made that epic winner bracket run, but got defeated then by Team Copium, by the team around Masquerade and Banana Age. And as it stands right now, the question is who takes the lead here? Who moves on to the playoffs? Who has to go through the last chance qualifier if they still want to have a shot here? So, yep, that's going to be the big question. We have Thrall with a Frost Wolf pack. We see him a little bit more in this tournament, and I like it. A lot of Thrall plays in general. Gazlo with some work done at the top, going straight to the camp together with him as the objectives now about to pop. We got the rocket boots on level 1, pretty typical, and then the rocket socket on level 4 with Vala of course going for the repeating arrow. I'm gonna attempt to lock that in on the Immortal already. I mean, even without your level 7 talent, if you go for the double arrow, either use it to stack quickly or to try and burn the Immortal down. Those are your two choices essentially. As long as you don't waste it on minions, you're basically fine. But yeah, for now, Chen against Gazlo up at the top. That's also quite the interplay. I mean, we've seen a few Chen plays now. Only one team. Oh, that's a kill. That is kill number 3. Cho'Gall obviously accounting for 2 kills, and that was the third one right there. They were hoping to go for Imperius, but, well, he survived. So Imperius made it and got out of the fight, as the red team is trying to contest the race a little bit on the Immortal, but it is obviously the blue team that locks in the halftime show victory. With Cho'Gall back to business and in full-on aggression here, he's doing alright, but he also gets locked down to 50% HP quickly. So, yep, they're popping him pretty quickly, and it will be a first objective for the Cats. Yeah, they're gonna take the first one. First Immortal goes to the Cats, and Cho'Gall will see what he's gonna be able to do as the game continues and he becomes stronger and stronger, but for now, very little yet. Well, as I say that, Captain Rex is about to get murdered. He makes it out, but that was a bit too close for comfort. If you get Immortal at this point and then you get crushed a second later, that shuts down your entire push. So yeah, good for them that they survived this. Has to tap the fountain, but that could have been a huge setback after winning the first Immortal of the game. Now, as they're pushing through the wall at the top, it's worthy to point out that Vala is doing pretty okay on her stack. She's sitting at 16 currently. We'll probably be able to build this up a bit more. And yeah, we'll definitely try. But if Vala is able to get those stacks together at the same pace that she's been doing so far, then this is going to be a very nice mid game for them. Nano, wow, mega low, but he gets out of this. And even though Vala tried and lock in a few arrows, it didn't connect a single one. So still sitting at 16 here, has obviously with level 7 now also Monster Hunter. They turned the Immortal into dust pretty quickly and didn't even take damage on the fort. That's a good defense right there. But with that, I think now we're really set up for this. There is a leading experience for the Cats. So they are ahead. But while the camp at the top goes to the blue team, we have Chen pushing all alone at the bottom of the map, and he is going to get some damage in, but not really too much on the towers. Gazlo is saying hi again. The scary clown is going straight for the laser show as the fight at the top just continues. Vala now on 21 stacks. And I'm telling you, if she is able to just keep that up, it's not only the immortal damage that is going to ramp up quickly, but you can get a lot of damage out against heroes later on too. And she gets a couple of very nice arrows connected here. So that is Cesarboss with a lot of potential damage in the late game. It's not only the immortal that the blue team needs to be worried about. If Vala just continues that pace, she is going to be an absolute menace in teamfights as well. So, just saying. And Cho'Gall obviously is somebody that really ramps up as the game continues normally. The level lead that we see for the Cats, that's quite nice for the blue team though. That might actually allow them to grab the the second objective, the second immortal with a level 10 advantage. So there's a chance that that happens. Cho'Gall with the double trouble on level 7 right now. So starting to stack this one up as well. A little bit of cooldown reduction going and all of this. Vala with 30,000 damage already. Pretty much indicating what I've been saying earlier, that she's getting those stacks quickly. And she was going for the objective for just a second, but Cesarboss is now being drawn between the two. So gets one hit, gets two hits, and yeah, this chunks it down hard. And this is only the second one. So already lots of damage being done here. Now my try could also be getting attacked quickly. There's level 10. The arrows, they come in flying and they're close when it comes to the halftime show. But the blue team, they have the superior position right now with heroic abilities. You don't want to go up against them here. So very likely they're going to claim this one. Vala is going to move in and is just trying to get a few more hits. But yeah, it's a nice objective regardless for the blue team. Hanzo's obviously chunking this down. Nice, the ult missing from Imperius. He really threatened Vala there, but not connecting it definitely hurt them. And the arrow doesn't connect either, so a couple of the ults already out and they just didn't do anything. They still want to go for the camp, which I find a bit surprising. Imperius gets attacked by Vala immediately. Arrow missing, one at least connected, but there's still Chen to be accounted for. And still no heroic abilities for Rospiedol. But the camp still gets taken by them. So they got their level 10s just in time for this. We have also the Immortal with 50% of a shield at the bot lane now. But at the top, Gazlo has now a camp that pushes together with him. Went straight into the Robo-Goblin, our Lord and Savior, the Gaz Lord. But they gotta burn this one down quickly, and you can already see how much of an impact Vala has here with her arrows. The shield's already gone. I think they will be able to save that fort. Yeah, I mean, they should be. She gets the arrows connected on the Immortal after we see the minion wave being taken out, and that is one of the big key plays, actually. Take the minion wave out first, then the arrows against the Immortal for max damage. Cho'Gall talking max damage. The Sundering missing. The heal is there. Hanzo's arrow with a short stun. And no kill for the Cats. No kill for the Cats. And Vala still looking for stacks. She is still top damage. Easily, by the way. Nobody's even contesting this. So Vala is still sitting there mega easily. Hit after hit. Cesarboss is playing this extremely well. Hasn't died yet either. The team hasn't gotten a single kill yet, but they are starting to look better and better around all of this, even though they lost 2 objectives. So with 2 objectives lost, they have still not lost a single fort. And the next objective should be a very interesting one. Because Hanzo's damage doesn't rank up any more than where it is right now against the Immortal. At least not significantly through talents. But Vala, obviously, is now stacking her level 1 just time and time again, and she is going to be brutal against the Immortal later on. 33 stacks for her now, and she's not just going to stop there. Gets another connect, was again over, and the more they're getting here, the better. The early game, this is definitely in the hands of the Cats. If they can continue the pressure and maybe get themselves a couple of small advantages, they can snowball. Fantastic. But all in all, there is some real late game potential for Rospiedol. So currently it is the cats that are in the lead. But the next objective is coming up, and while the camp is being attacked at the top, Shogal now moving at the bottom of the map for the next tower. A little bit of easy damage there. There is a level 13 talent though. They try to isolate Shogal and actually getting them straight into... Nah, not quite into the opponent's team, but they got close there. So Vala's going for a camp. They don't have level 13 yet. It's again a talent disadvantage for the red team, so I'm not going to be too happy about that. They can still try and defend here. Vala obviously going to be looking for at least some stacks on level 1, which you can't sneak over towards the Immortal. So yeah, gets one hit, makes another, and missed the arrow, I believe. They're getting some good damage out. Aegis had to be used. The arrow! But it's just way too much damage. Vala dies eventually. Lots of stuff dodged out by Oriel using Aegis, but then we have the double, the triple kill as Shogal and Vala both die. But that was just, it was just too much to handle. I mean, the position was pretty horrible. Look at the play from Oriel. So the arrow dodged Aegis out, and then Vala dies regardless. A moment later, Shogal moves in, was trying to help out here, but there's nothing left for them anymore either. So Shogal and Vala both fall, and that's going to be a massive shield on the Immortal. So even with all the stacking that we're seeing from Vala, this backfired massively. 6 kills to 0. And this is the big opportunity for the cats to gain an enormous amount of momentum. Late game is the danger, but to tell you the truth, currently it just feels like the red team might not even get into a proper late game. Vala, yes, she stacks well, but the team has not gotten a single kill. They haven't gotten a single Immortal. This one has a full shield. 11 minutes in, it's a 1.5 level gap between the cats and Rospiedol. The blue team, dominant. Absolutely dominant in game number 1 of the Losers Bracket Final. And more hits against Chen. I mean, every single time that he just simply sits there and starts to hit the keg and drink hard, he's stationary, and Vala can easily move into range and get some hits in against him. But after the fort got destroyed within seconds, it's now the wall on the keep that gets hit. And the shield has been basically taken out. Chen with a keg, alright. Molten Block is in. They're trying to push this past a little bit. Good damage output. The Immortal also attacked, but the wall is gone, and the keep takes damage. Vala with one barrage after another, focusing more on the Immortal than any potential stacks against heroes. They saved their keep, but the 5 versus 5 still breaking out as 16 is about to hit for the blue team. The arrow missing again. Hanzo is saving the good ones for next game, as we have the talent kick in for the blue team. Vala with another lunge forward. 42 stacks for her now, and really working the numbers here. But they're trailing heavily in experience, and that talent gap is a problem. So, with level 16, we got the synergy for Thrall. Has the Alpha Wolf over here. Camp gets at least taken before the blue team can react and steal it away. With Jogal, they want, of course, to hit the 16 talent as quickly as they can to at least fight the even talent battle. The damage output, Vala on 56,000. Still, top damage, Gal on 44k. Both of them super high numbers, but they can't get kills. They got the numbers there, but they don't have the kills, and that's the problem. Oh boy. Cesar again, he's very aggressive with the arrows. You hit some, you miss some, but some of them are just so far off the mark. Clearly zoning arrows that we're getting occasionally. But now that they're getting closer and closer to their own level 16 talent, at least they will fight the next Immortal on an even talent here, at least from the looks of it. They're going to take the minion wave out right here. That gets them close. And then with the second one, or even the experience over time, they should be able to fight out the Immortal, or is this the 4th one, on an even talent. And that's a big opportunity for them then. That's going to be a big one where they might finally be able to make a little bit of a difference. There's level 16, and that gives us the Reservoir of Hope, of course, where you get the Leaden Orb and Manticore for Vala. So still working some auto attacks in at least. But now it's going to get interesting. So the arrow, again, missing, zoning arrow, but 42 stacks, not too shabby. Could be more, obviously, but still a solid number, so you can really work this. But does the blue team have any problems here or not. Few more hits from Vala. Sundering. The Wolf connects too, and then the immediate turn that we're seeing from her with the Rain of Vengeance. They're zoning the opponent a bit farther away, but Hechesa with Hanzo is moving in several times now, just getting the shots connected with him, and the Immortal gets chunked. Now, Vala is still working the numbers against heroes. Good dodge from Auriel. These arrows are not connecting with anything. Vala's arrows, on the other hand, they are connecting hard, and she gets damage out. But is it going to be enough? Can they get finally some kills? And the answer is yes, they can take some. They take down Imperius, nearly obliterated Hanzo. Shogun is a bit low, but they're throwing the opponent completely off the Immortal. Mai Try miraculously survives with Chen. Honestly, no idea how he did that. He looked like he was already dead and then somehow made it through. But now with that one kill against Imperius, the halftime show victory goes straight over to Rospiadol and the team now with an opportunity to win their first objective. And they're gonna get this one. Yep, they're gonna grab this one easily. Now they have an opportunity to take some structures down, gain a little bit of momentum here, and make some moves. And it is something that they have to do it right now. They really, really gotta bring the pain. Shogal gets stronger. We are entering slowly the late game. Vala, Gal might catch up. Gal might actually catch up. He's at 60,000 damage now. Vala is at 68,000, so she's obviously absolutely insane on this. Gazlo is trying to control the side lane the entire time. Aegis used, Sundering with a bit of a delay, but Vala is still in trouble and still dies. With Gazlo at the bottom of the map, Hanzo's arrow, by the way, missed again. Just saying. But now we have the attack of Gazlo at the bot lane, but they're losing too many heroes up here. Vala goes down on Auriel. The topside fort has been destroyed, and Gazlo is not quite leading the fort at the bottom of the map, but he did a lot of damage there too. The problem is that the blue team is, of course, using the opportunity and just moves in at the top lane to go for the keep and try to finish what they started earlier. It doesn't quite work out for them. If they actually lose heroes here, that would be a bit of a disaster. And nope, they're still saving Thrall. They are going for Cho'Gall though, and now that he's isolated and gone, that's bad. That is pretty bad. Not only does it mean that the keep falls for sure, but they might be willing to try and go for the core here. With only 2 defenders, there is a chance that they can pull that off. Vala, nearly 50 stacks, but is that enough to win them or to defend the core? It could be, because we have Auriel back, so as long as Vala gets good damage out and Auriel keeps her alive, it's fine. If they cannot end, Vala is at least gonna get a lot of stacks here. So she already connected 2. Gets another arrow out, gets another one connected, Sundering, and she's still alive. But the core is losing hit points. They go for Thrall though, the whip into the corner, and Thrall has to retreat. Shogun is back in 6 seconds, and they're going for Thrall. They take him out. Now the move from Vala for Hanzo. That's another kill. It should be, and it is, as the Gas Lord shows his real power. So that's 2 heroes now gone, and the core is at 50%, which is obviously nice. The blue team also gets level 20, but I'm still not 100% convinced that this was worth it. Not sure. It allows the red team to catch up a bit more than they should be able to. It allowed Vala to get some free stacks. Not too many, but 6. Well, 6 is not bad. That's more than a 10% increase on her numbers. And now there's 2 heroes down while the Immortal comes in. So 52% on the core is nice. That brings you into backdoor territory. But yeah, I don't really know if that was really the right choice here, because now the red team is going to get their own level 20 in just a couple of seconds. Acrobat on Vala is going to be a disaster for them. And on top of that, we of course now have a halftime show victory, which is getting locked in in seconds. And they're going to make a move for the Immortal, and this could be, a full one. We also have at the top lane, Double Camp is now pushing for the blue team's keep. Down at the bottom, they're going to try and defend this quickly. Damage output of Vala is at 81,000 now, as the blue team becomes more aggressive around it. And there's still no level 20, that's a problem for Rospiadol. Gazlo is trying to change that. And, well, there we have it. So 20 is in, Vala with Acrobat. And that should give them a lot of opportunities to take the Immortal out, to go and get stacks. Vala is already on the move here. One arrow connects, moves in for the next one. So time and time again, they're just chunking this one out. And Vala is getting massive hits in. So nice for her, but the Sundering, Vala in trouble. Sundering and the Keg, Cessobus gets the heal, and now it's arrow time. And if they're isolated like this, those arrows are hitting hard. The problem is that Auriel got still hit and killed. Shogun got a kill on Hanzo at least, so it's a counter kill, and he's on the run. Vala was able to connect another few arrows, and that gives them the Immortal, and it's a big Immortal, and the keep is gone at the top lane. So, guys, the Cats are all of a sudden losing ground here. They're losing the game at this point. The fort at the bottom of the map is 100% going to be eliminated. That puts them even in structures. Auriel is dead, that's the problem, or they could push even more aggressively, but at least Hanzo's gone too, so it's a 4 versus 4. Vala, not like this! Does not have a heal, throws what she can out against them, and here comes Mitra and Fat Illidan gets the kill. Oh my god, a staggered death on the side of Rospiadol. Oh, that was not really worth it. The defense is in full swing. Shogal is back. You gotta be careful here. I think you gotta cut your losses at this point. You're not gonna get the bot lane keep. It's not gonna be a thing. Pushing here just risks losing more heroes. Get everybody back up on the map, and you are able to contest things. But with Vala gone, the problem is not having Auriel there. It's just like, yeah. All the damage that connects is too much, and they got Sundering. They even went World Breaker, so you can't really hide from this thing. And if you're isolated from the rest of the team without Auriel on the other side, you just know how this goes. So we got on level 20 for the two teams now, 87,000 damage for Vala, 78,000 damage for Gal. Gazlo's not looking too bad. Gazlo has 54,000 damage. That's the same number nearly that we're getting from Hanzo. Not quite, but again, he's in the round. 12 kills to 4. Even on the map. Like, when it comes to structures, they're totally even here. Still trying to chase. Yeah, Vala on the move now too. Red team is happy to fight. Blue team, maybe not so much. Still a few camps that they can go for. And, yeah, the battle between Vala and Gal. On 20 for Gazlo, by the way, we got the bomb toss. And we had also the arc reactor here. And Auriel is now at 11 stacks for the Reservoir of Hope. So, yeah, 11, not too bad. And this is obviously another big tool that she can use as the game continues. I mean, I suppose that the next Immortal is going to be the last one. But there's always a chance that the game lasts even longer than that. So we have some scaling tools outside of just Vala stacking her level 1. So Auriel has a few too. Hasn't completed the level 4 quest yet. Misses a few more whips. But, yeah, camp's about to be taken. Going for the shamans. And then it is Immortal time. And I guess that's going to be the showdown that we kind of waited for here. So, who's taking it? 60,000 damage for Hanzo. Everybody else bringing in decent numbers on their end too. And they are going for that camp at the bot lane first. They don't want to lose their key, but that gives the red team a first shot at the Immortal. Now Vala, as you can already see, is just chunking this down so mega quickly. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially with the help that she now gets from the rest of the team. The blue team still wins the halftime show, but the margin is a lot smaller than you would have probably assumed considering how this started. So now we have the attack on Imperius. They're poking him down hard. Anduin is working overtime to defend. Vala with a few more connects, still waiting for the rest of the opponent's team to move in. But they now have the advantage on the Immortal. Actually not quite yet, the blue team is still a little bit ahead by roughly 1,000 hit points on the Immortal. But yeah, Chen is already trying to see if he can connect some cake plays. Sundering is ready to be played out too. Stun against Chen. And yep, somebody's getting stun locked hard. I mean, damn. Mitra received the full Gazlo and Immortal treatment a moment ago. So that hurt, and that hurt him a lot. Vala is just looking the entire time for angles that she can use to get a couple of like arrows connected. Connects a few here, but also has to stay away from Thrall, who has been an absolute menace in all of the team fights against her so far. So yeah, she gets a few more connects in. And Chen eats the next arrow. They're getting poked down slowly though, but that could have been a kill opportunity. But Hirath is still alive. Cho'Gall attack. Thrall with the flank and Sundering. They go for Cho'Gall. They try and take him out as Vala just keeps shuffling those arrows out. And is it a kill? It's a double kill. Cho'Gall with the double kill right there as Vala chases Chen. Imperious and Thrall are both gone. 5 versus 3 now. Cho'Gall and Gazlowe in tandem are starting to chase Anduin, and they drop him too. Now they're going for Hanzo, and this looks like the beginning of the end. Boss, yep, that's a kill. It's a double kill. Both of them dead. Both of them die. And with Vala gone with 65 stacks, the red team is now making a move for the bottom keep and the core with everything that they have. But yeah, Vala and Chen, they go for the total annihilation. Both of them dead. Vala at 103,000 damage now. It's a 5-man team wipe. And Rospiedol wins game number 1 against the Cats in the losers bracket final on Battlefield of Eternity. GG and well played. Before we're heading into game number 2, short reminder everybody that we have a partner this month, Opera GX. If you want to support the channel for absolutely free, what you can do is download the browser through the link in the description. Play around with it a little bit, again, install the thing and see if it's for you, create a user account, maybe customize the entire thing. They have some insane themes as well. If you're a StarCraft fan, for example, you're going to find quite a lot there. But be it as it may, if you are going to use the tool for a bit, it would really help the channel, it would help us to host more events in the future, and you would support the stream and the YouTube channel as already mentioned. So thanks in advance to everybody who has already done it, and I really hope that we have more people that use a couple of minutes of their time to do exactly that. So enjoy game number 2, and thanks again everybody. Well, they pulled it off. Cho'Gall with the victory. So the Gazlowe bounty completed, and Cho'Gall won another match. I honestly believe that Cho'Gall has a 100% win rate in the tournament so far. And it's getting a bit scary. Now, he can't be played again. The heroes that were played on the first map can obviously not be played again here. Towers of Doom is the map, and when they chose the map, I was speculating a bit if you maybe see the Stitches plus Alexstrasza combo on Towers of Doom, which I'm still waiting for. We had only 1 attempt at that bounty in Group A, and I was ever since expecting another one to be started. But the hopes of that happening are getting shut down very quickly as Stitches gets banned out. Rospiedol is in the lead now, so they're 1 map victory away from making it into the playoffs directly and making this loser bracket run worth it. The Cats, probably not too happy with the outcome of the last map. They were doing pretty okay at the beginning, and they had some really strong moments. I mean, they got the core down to 50%. They were so close on being able to maybe backdoor, end the game, win another fight, and go and push for the core directly. But it just didn't work out in the end, and towards the late game, Cho'Gall, Vala, they became a little bit too powerful, and they got the kills here. So now that we're heading into game number 2, into Towers of Doom, let's see what we're gonna get. Quick reminder on the bounties, just to give you guys a bit of an idea. We had obviously some now already completed, but with Towers of Doom, there's still a couple of things that you could do. Could technically also try something along Hunt Illidan, that has been played a few times, by the way, on the Towers of Doom. Illidan can be pretty strong here. Just going for structures and pushing the side lane bell towers, but also in addition to that you have the pseudo global that helps you just control the map a little bit more. Just as one example of what they could technically try and do here. But, well, with that said, let's see if the teams are willing to commit to any of those handicaps here. Muradin and Leoric at the start, an easy first pick on Blaze, so side lane is strong for both of them. Rhaegar and Sylvanas, I would have assumed, I mean again, if you are the Cats and you haven't picked a bounty in game number 1, you're definitely not going to pick a bounty in game number 2 when you are map behind. I think the Cats, they are currently sitting there and they're like, guys, if we lose this now, we went through the winner bracket final, we were the favorites here, if we lose this, yeah. They actually have to, it can be a little bit tricky if you are in their shoes right now to get into the right mindset to play the game, because the entire time you have just like looming that in the back of your head that if you lose this map now, then your entire winner bracket run that you executed was basically for naught, and you will have to go again through something like the last chance qualifier. Medivh gets banned. Played so much in the tournament, makes perfect sense. Teams are actually starting to be a little bit afraid of him and the combos that come with him. Sergeant Hammer is also getting eliminated. With Sylvanas, he can take the bell towers out fairly quickly. And yeah, over on the right side, now what we're gonna get for that double pick. Now, with Mirrodin and Leoric already claimed, you still have some globals effectively that you could play. There's obviously also a lot of mobility heroes that are still in the game. You could go Genji, for example, and lock him in to rotate between the lanes and apply some pressure. But we get Maiev and we get Deckard Cain first. So that leaves us with Cesabos for the final pick on the side of Rospier Doll. And then over on the left, Taichessa and Hirath still haven't chosen yet. They need a main tank. Main tank and something that dishes out more damage. So, together with Blaze, setting some stun combos up, always possible, but yeah, main tank needed. No curveballs whatsoever at this point in the draft. Junkrat, yeah. Slide into jet propulsion, create some space here, have Sylvanas for Junkrat, 2 squishies in the back. So after we now have Maiev already taken, Rospidol still needs somebody that can slap the damage in, and well, if they choose wisely here, they might actually just win this one with a 2-0 and move on to the playoffs directly. But our final pick for Towers of Doom, the second map in the series, is Probius. They go for Bounty again. Okay, Bounty time once again for Rospidol as they lock in Probius for Towers of Doom. Game number 2. It is match point. So on the left side, we got the blue team, the Cats, with Captain Rex on Rhaegar, Drakia on Sylvanas, Taichessa on the account of Nano is playing Junkrat, and we got Herath on ETC with Maitri on Blaze. On the right side of the map, this is where it again becomes interesting. After their Gasload Shogal combo in the last game, we now have Makotzel on Mirrodin, Balor on Deckard Cain, Bronick on Maiev, Aether on Leoric, and Cesabos is playing Probius. They're unleashing the probe again. Yeah. And is he gonna be able to do enough damage here? He certainly has a lot of push power, depending on the situation. But Probius can actually really pack a punch. So we'll see how much they're gonna be able to do with him as the game continues. He's obviously not the only damage dealer. You have also with Maiev somebody that can cleave through an entire team, and has proven that in the past over and over again. We'll see how they're going to play this out with the two of them, but it should be fun. Should be fun. We already have Gather Minerals as a level 1 talent. Then Makotzi getting attacked here and has to jump out. So getting a bit more damage in from Probius, no matter which source, is obviously going to be pretty big and nice if you can pull it off. Some damage already here in the middle and starting to take a few of these towers down as they're opening up the first one and trying to also open the gate. But it seems like we're going to have a first blood here as Leoki gets hit. The Janitor eliminated. Could be followed by a counter kill though. And that's a slow. They dive deep, connect the tether, and bye-bye Taichessa. That's a kill. Junkrat is gone, but the fight continues as the blue team now moves in. And they might actually... Rhaegar's. But now that the red team is just sitting here with literally every single hero that they still have remaining, they're going straight up for the camp and steal the pumpkins away. Blaze was still at the top, so the blue team was fully aware that they were outmatched. At least when it comes to the numbers. So they were trailing behind on numbers here and had to retreat. In the meantime now, we got over on the right side the idea to very quickly get their own camp. The blue team is hoping to potentially interrupt this and steal it away to at least get one pumpkin set. But with Leoric here, they're willing to commit, so this is gonna get spicy. And the blue team is about to retreat, gets pulled off the point. Maiev dies, but they still got the camp as a result of her play. Still the kill is in, and they might make it a double with Leorki. Again, attacked. Is he going to activate his trade? Yes, trade activated. So, there it is. Now, level 4 talents are getting ready, so we get again Thunderburn, and then later Healing Static from Mirrodin for survivability in the team fights. For Leoric, we got Paralyzing Rage. and the triple altar phase has now also been announced. So we're gonna get some battle over the points. So the cores are gonna lose a few. And the build actually continues for Probius. So after we get Gather Mineral, oh, that's a kill. Yep, that's the second time that Maiev is gone. Maiev eliminated. And we also have now the photon barrier right here. So focusing a little bit more on the Cannon Rush build. Like a true Protoss player obviously does. Yeah. Top left, top right exchange, the things down here. Yeah, Captain Dragon's gonna grab it. Easy. 2 out of the 3 altars go to the cats. And yeah, for Rospit, I'm still a bit surprised by the Probius pick. I think there were a few other bounties that they could have gone for. So didn't really expect them to lock in the probe here. Given how stingy they were with bounty attempts in the first place, I'm happy with anything that they're pulling off. But the second group, Group B, was very heavily contested up to this point, and I don't think we even have a third of the bounties attempted or completed in this group that we had in the other one. Maybe a 10th. I'm not even joking. Maybe a 10th of the bounties that were attempted in Group A is what we got here. It's probably exaggerating it a little bit, but not by much. Now, anyways, be it as it may, we have now on level 7 the Emerald, and we also have a problem for Muradin. Well, he gets booped around by Junkrat, and then he still has the cooldown ready to jump out of this, so he's fine. Seems like, oh, that's a kill. Rega? No, the heal made it. The heal made it, but Taichesa on Junkrat is dead. And so is Rega. Deckard Kane with a big play here towards the end, and they're getting a double kill out of it. That was glorious. Just as they thought they could all get away. Look at this. The old man with a big damage play. The tether, and then he comes in and just says, I got this, boys, and drops both of them. So, 4 kills to 3. That was a big step actually for Rospedol. The Polish team is going to be super happy about this. They were starting to fall behind in experience and in kills a bit, and that definitely helped. Deckard Payne! He brought it. Now, the channel attempt at the bottom, it's double altar that's now up. Even experience, more or less. Yep, and obviously also still a little bit of Probius action in all of it. Sylvanas is now down at the bottom of the map and does not get the channel. No. Muradin was there in time. Another tether. Maiev has to be mega careful though, because she gets targeted over and over again. Not a single altar is taken yet. They're all still fighting this out. We might even see level 10 abilities during the course of this battle, depending on how long they're delaying it here. Because right now, not a single one is claimed. Maybe now Deckard is getting the one at the bot lane. Yeah, he's gonna grab this one. There's no in. Whoa! Holy hell, that was clutch. Mitra gets the interrupt. There's the stun on Muradin, and he gets away with another jump. Barely, but he makes it. Probius is channeling in the middle and doesn't make it. Gets interrupted by Junkrat again. Drachia, on the other hand, with Sylvanas at the bottom of the map, was able to get the first altar. Probius will get the second one up at the top, so it is an even exchange between the two teams. They fought for a long time, and we nearly made it to heroic abilities in that fight. But, well, there it is. Mosh Pit, choice for ETC. Probius went straight for the pylon overcharge. Has also gone into the tower defense, by the way. And, yeah, no curveballs outside of any of that. I mean, again, we have mind control again for Sylvanas with a wailing arrow here. Mind control really solid though. Bunker forced. Well done. Maybe Dio a bit too aggressive here. But now that they're moving in with Maiev, they clearly want to force that fight again. Muradin. And he hops out. Yeah, Muradin is getting targeted a lot. We have 20,000 damage now for Probius. 23,000 for Sylvanas. Junkrat that has died twice so far. The same is also true of Maiev and Leoric, so the triple front line that we're seeing for Rospedol might be in trouble here a bit. Mosh Pit, pulled from Deckard Kane, and Muradin is getting murdered. Might not be the only one. There's a slide, and that is the end of my F. So there is momentum that is building up for the Cats. Earlier, they already started this, but then they had a problem when 2 of their heroes died, thanks to Deckard Cain. But now with Sylvanas moving in to try and take the bell tower at the bot lane, this is actually looking really good for the blue team. They first of all were able to get some kills, and now they are also enhancing their push further with Dracula just getting extra damage in on the structures. They aren't able to get the entire bell tower, but that is way more damage than they would have been able to get without her. So, yep, not too bad for them. But, again, we are slowly closing in on level 13 talents too. We have a single altar up in the mid lane now. One altar in the middle. Probius already attempting to set up a bit, whereas the bunker had to be dropped very early on again by Blaze. So, there's the Entomb. Nice, I like it. That Entomb was sexy. Immediately the Ancestral. Maiev barely getting out. This is the thing. Even when they're making plays like this, a lot of the stuff that they have here just gets absolutely shut down. That is a huge problem, honestly. It's a really, really big problem. And yeah, so the Emerald also played a big role in the last fight, of course. Probius is dead. It just feels like it's too tough for the red team to get those kills, even when they make very smart plays, like baiting out the bunker early and then following it up with the perfect Entomb. They weren't able to get the damage connected so that they can take the target out. And with Blaze surviving, even with the Ancestral being diminished, it's just too much. Now the altar is getting channeled. They're instantly back at the bottom of the map to try and go for the bell tower. And they're gonna grab this one. So not only does the red team fall behind in experience, they're falling behind on points in the core, and they're losing control of the map. Mind control, talking about losing control. There's the kill. Leorki is dead again, and it's a tough one. It's a really tough one for Rospedol here. It seems like this might backfire massively against them. The quest of Probius on level 1 is now at 69 stacks, so nearly done. Having that damage increase is neat, but I am not so sure if it's really gonna be enough to turn the tides. I don't know if they really can stack well enough into the late game to have a big input here and turn this around. Now, well, on level 13, we have the shield battery. Synergy for Merlin, mega important. The healing static alone should help him a lot with survivability in those team fights now. But, yeah, Probius is done with the quest. 10 minutes in. Pretty much on the point. But is that really going to be enough to help him out here? EDC going a bit deep here, trying to apply pressure to Probius. And, well, Kirath needs the Ancestral and gets it. Deckard Cain again with the ult. Not able to tee them up properly. And here's the kill against Muradin and the party. EDC making them dance. Dance, baby, dance. And it is a quad kill. 4 heroes down. Pumpkins are connecting with the core. And we got a double altar coming up. And obviously, massive amount of control now for the Cats. The Cats are looking fantastic here. They have level 16 talents. It's a 2-level gap between the two teams. 13 kills to 3. They go through both of the altars, and for the boss, that's 14 shots fired once that they connect all of it. And it will lead to single digits on the core for the red team. I mean, we're 11 minutes into the game, and we're looking at 32 points on the core against 7. So, yeah, this is disastrous for Hospital. This game is just not working together for them. Too many good moves being made by the Cats, and just not enough with the composition that is being played by Rospedol to reliably get kills and take these team fights. In the middle, Leorki gets taken out once again, and that gives them direct access to the next bell tower. They won't be able to claim it, but they can take it down to 50% of its HP, softening it up for later on in the battle. And even with the bell tower at the bottom retaken, Muradin, he's still going to be able to get out, but this is symptomatic of what we've seen the entire time. The blue team makes the calls, they make the decisions here, and the red team essentially just reacts. They need level 16, and then they need to somehow win a team fight, close the experience gap, and rely on late game momentum to win this one. Or we're going to a third game. Jet Propulsion's already in, trying to hold the bot lane as best as they can. We have Probius now on 43,000 damage. 48,000 for Sylvanas. So Probius is still bringing the numbers here. I mean, he's top damage in hero and siege damage for the team. But he died now for the third time too. Easy kill. And with the probe gone, you're now fighting a 4 versus 5 again. At least they have 16 talents, so that helps. But there's another dance party. E2C. The heal. Can I get another kill here? Seems like that Kane looks a little bit low, but hello? That's all of a sudden Maiev, cleaving the shit out of them and getting the kill on Junkrat. The jet propulsion, connecting hard. Yeah, and they're all just like trying to rush away. This is true for Muradin, it's true for Maiev. They're all trying to get out here. It's a 4 versus 3 still. But the triple altar, this could end the game. Muradin is following Sylvanas towards the top. Fighting it out in the middle as they're going for Leo. But Rhaegar's also a little bit low. Has to make it out. Got tethered. And gets slowed. And Captain Rex is dead. Captain Rex is gone. And this is making this a bit awkward because the Cats were hoping to get, of course, 2 of the altars and end the game here. But at this pace, they have to be happy if they could just get 1. Muradin is starting the channel and will grab it. And the blue team is just settling for the one at the top left. And I'm not 100% convinced that they're going to be able to get this one either. Alright, they can. So, red team is not reading too hard. But that's 4 shots and 3 points on the core. 16 to 5 kills. So, right now, this is really the moment where Rosperdol has to make some big moves or it's just going to be lights out for them. 1 pumpkin camp is enough to end the game. 1 altar is going to be enough to end the game. 1 boss is enough to end the game in favor of the Cats. They're looking at a 1.5 level lead. So that's more than enough. But yeah, red team needs to completely drive the bus from here now. So they need to see how much they can do if they really want to have a shot here. Take some bell towers, gain a bit of control, win a fight or 2, get a numbers advantage. Yeah, that's a good start. But Ancestral, of course, up and gets used. Not a lot of an impact here, thanks to Deckard Cain again, but still enough to save him. And this is what I talked about earlier. If you just do not get the kills in situations like that, that's a problem. And unfortunately, part of it is that the damage output that we're getting from Probius and from Maiev is just not enough to get the quick kills here. In sustained and long battles where you can whittle down the opponent slowly, battle of attrition, more of a thing. But right now, it's a problem. Probius, by the way, has a chance of getting top damage in the game. Not only on the team. Junkrat and Sylvanas are both in the same round, but now we have also level 20, and it's a single altar down at the bottom of the map. They have to fight for this. They gotta fight for it. So, the red team needs to win this battle against a team that has Storm talents. So this is gonna be difficult, to say the least. Bell Tower gets a bit attacked in the middle of the map, not that it matters all that much, because it's all about the bot lane fight now. And here comes the jet propulsion. Nice damage against Leo. The channel is happening. Nobody interrupts. I'm not quite sure what the blue team is honestly doing here. They shouldn't allow the opponent to get to level 20. Boss will be up too, but right now you need to exploit the hell out of the level 20 advantage. So they're starting for the fight right after the Entomb gets dropped. Leoki low, and he makes it out. Leoric's still alive here, and they're retreating. The tactical pause from Drakia. Blaze disconnected. We actually have a disconnect. So Blaze is out of the game for now. Hopefully gonna come back. 20 points on the core against 3. With the shots just now fired against the blue team's core, they're now down to 20 points. And we have in damage 63,000 for Probius. Again, nearly top damage in the game now. Closing in on the output that we're seeing from Sylvanas. But the situation hasn't really changed. The thing on the map now is the boss. So boss is currently up, which means that if you go for the boss now and you take it, you win the game. That's 3 points on the core. That's plenty. But there's a 1.5 level gap, and I really, really, really want the blue team to try and capitalize on the lead and experience that they have. Because if they allow them to get, if they allow Rospedol to get to level 20, all of a sudden, the entombs that we've seen from Leoric so far will likely be upgraded to Buried Alive. That would already be a big change. And, I mean, just everyone else here, it would probably be a bit of a disaster. It looks like even battles, even with the level 20 lead for the Cats. So if you don't go for the boss now, when are you going to make your play? And they are already on the way. They obviously know fully well what has to happen here. And they got good tools too. I'm more surprised at what the red team is doing. What is happening here? Are you shitting me? Alright, game. That's GG. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Game 3 coming up. Well done. Well, that just happened. So it seems like Rospedol forgot that there's a boss on the map. They played this perfectly when they were trying to take the camp. Muradin anchoring the bush, everybody playing for it, expecting the opponent to invade, just to realize a moment later that there's a boss up, that you only have 3 points on your core, and you just lost the game for free. The cats just commented on this later, and they're like, well, I guess they forgot there's a boss. But yeah, total brain fart on the side of Rospedol. To be fair, they were heavily behind. They didn't have a level 20 talent. Likely, they would have lost the fight anyways. They should have lost it. They were the underdog going into that battle. But they clearly did just totally blank on the boss being there. Or they somehow thought that it would take much, much longer for the blue team to actually claim it. And they were planning to just move in towards the back end. Either way, the cats just rotated up, took the boss, and won the game. So, not really a throw or anything by Rospedol, but definitely one of the weirdest ends on Tomb of the Towers of Doom that I have ever seen there. That brings us to game number 3. So we're heading into Garden of Terror. We have in total 20 heroes now banned, being unavailable because they were already played before. The Probius bounty obviously now failed for Rospedol, so they still get a half point for that. But now they have to try to win the game if they want to make it to the playoffs directly. But it was still a wild ending. I guess it's one of those moments that just happens. You have to simply shrug that off. But imagine the voice comm in that. They're like, guys, we gotta get to camp. Go for the pumpkins. Murden. Make sure that they're not coming in. They come Stormbolt. And probably not quite what it sounded like. But the moment when they realized that the boss was taken was probably priceless anyways. Now, game 3. Final map. And, well, here in Garden of Terror with the big map, obviously, we get Gul'dan as a first pick. So, Gul'dan gets locked in right away. Vikings, unfortunately, banned. That would have been a nice one. And, yeah. Crazy series. We deserve a game like this. Every now and then, you know, you have to have a game where it's actually a little bit like, oh my god, what just happened? Now, after Hogger was neither banned nor picked by Rospedol, obviously we have the cats now going for him. So Hogger claimed, easy peasy. The right wing also, so they have a bit of a global that they can lock into. Yeah, and for the red team, after they now have the wave clear with Gul'dan, still need a decent side laner for them, also main tank of course. But curious if there are any kind of curveballs, surprises that they still have up their sleeves that they're willing to take here. Well, Medivh and Garrosh, it's actually a little bit of a shocker that neither of the two of them was banned here. That they prioritized the ban on Stitches over the Medivh ban after we've seen Medivh eliminated a few times. So now we have again, not only Medivh, we have the combo with Garrosh again, which is of course super strong. And yeah, cats will have to go up against a very annoying combo with portals just popping up everywhere and the continuous vision too. So they're getting rid of Urel on that side lane. They don't want to deal with her. But that definitely made this just really interesting. We have a ley line, we have the Warlord's Challenge from Garrosh, we have Gul'dan with Horrify. A lot of CC tools that we're getting from them. It's going to be important to see whether or not Medivh can, in a reasonable time frame, complete his quest. But lately, we didn't have a lot of Medivh players that actually died before they completed the quest. Most of them are really diligent about making sure that they're getting the quest locked in properly. So, yeah, it's a great start for them into the draft, I'm not gonna lie here. Then, over on the blue team, now with Hogger for the Mercenary clear and also lane clear, We have Brightwing for a bit of global support. We're also talking globals. Falstad coming out. Okay. So Falstad for a Gust disengage, I guess. And Nuburak, they can dive. They go Hoarder Pull tier with Hogger. They can dive in with him too. If not, Shockwave as a follow-up on Nuburak's initial stun. Obviously works as well. Just need that shock and awe for Falstad. Give me that Hinterland Blast. I would love if Blizzard would like buff the numbers on Hinterland Blast a little bit. It would be a fun talent to see a bit more often and actually have an impact. They don't have to rework everything all the time when they're talking about patches. Just like buff the damage by 5% or something and see where that gets you. And if still nobody picks it and everybody ignores it, buff it by another 5%. And at some point they're going to see it at least picked a little bit and then it's going to be a good spot. But they're always going overboard with this and just instead of just like incrementally adjusting a few numbers on things like second ults and so on. Sonya and Lucio. Yeah, Lucio empowering obviously the rotations and also booping targets back. Sonya could even, I mean, I would love to see her go into a leap, but I assume that we're going to get Wrath of Berserker. And the final pick is Greymane. So, ladies and gentlemen, final map. We are in the final map of Group B. The winner goes to the playoffs. The loser will drop out of the group and will have to play through the last chance qualifier. So, without further ado, God of Terror. Final map. Cats on the left in blue. Now we have them with Drakia on Greymane. Captain Rex on Brightwing, Maitri on Hogger, Hirath is playing Nuburak, and Taichessa on Nano's account, not the real Nano, is playing Falstad. Real Nano is playing for Team Copium, who already qualified through the winner bracket. On the right side of the map, it is Makotzlon Garrosh for Rospiedol. We got Balor on Lucio, Bronek is playing Gul'dan, Cesabos on Medivh, and then Ether is playing Sonya. So, the final map. Noteworthy that we don't have a single bounty attempt here, so the two teams, they're done with the bounty shenanigans. Well, to be fair, we had basically only bounties on the side of Rospiedol, so they still failed the bounty. They were trying to go for the Probius bounty, but that didn't work out for them. Now, no bounties on the final map. A little bit of action here, but yeah, not able to get a kill in the middle. Full on brawl, actually. A lot of portals already coming out. Medivh not getting that many stacks. He started up with 5, but obviously in these 5 versus 5 full team brawls in the mid lane, you can sometimes easily stack past 10 and get a huge lead on your baseline. Damage against Gul'dan, but Nuburak got body blocked, but not enough to lead to a kill. They trapped him there for a moment though. If not for all the damage that was pushed onto Garrosh, he might have been able to trap him a little bit longer and allow the team to get the damage connectors to get a kill. But, well, right now we are at the top, Falstad. There are, of course, now high mobility heroes with Falstad and with Brightwing for the blue team that could allow them to control the macro game just a little bit more. You still have Lucio though, who speeds up the rotations too for the red team, and on top of that, the portals from Medivh, which is another huge tool that they have to try and not only save some targets, but also maybe move in and get kills for themselves. But the first kill that we're getting is a neat little move on the side of the blue team of the Cats, and they're locking in a kill against Gul'dan and therefore first blood. So, nicely done, well played. So, kill is in, and with that, we now have them also doing some damage at the bottom. Tower down, gate about to be taken apart, all empowered by the camp that they picked earlier. Still a few stacks for Medivh, who's now at 20. It's actually pretty good. 2 minutes in, 10 stacks per minute. That would be a quick one if he can maintain that a little bit longer, but unlikely. Ooh, Sonya also going down at the top lane. Alright, with Brightwing and Falstad going for the kill there. It's now the second kill against the red team, and this is starting to become a little bit problematic. Yeah, just make sure you don't lose Medivh. Oh, a little bit too close for comfort, my friend. 23 stacks, so they started to take a couple of camps here. We have down at the bottom, seed positioned over on the right team side. The camp also stolen away, so this early game is not looking good whatsoever for the red team. This is actually a disaster. They're a level behind already, and the game just barely started. So, not only does the top wall get destroyed, there is some damage on the fort. The bot lane is getting attacked too. And this is dicey. Not the early game that you want here, and I'm not quite sure what Medivh is playing with fire as well. Sasabos needs to be careful. On half HP, you drop in like this. If that stun would have connected, if they could have somehow kept him away from that portal entrance, that would have been 23 stacks that he loses on his baseline. Still getting attacked here, still needs to be careful. They want that poly, they want that stun. Can't quite get it, and it seems like the cats are a bit in the zone at this point. That early game is looking strong. Early level 7 talent for them. Good damage on structures. The seed is still up. And my try, after he already stole a few of the opponent's camps away, is of course hoping for even more. But when it comes to just simply camp pressure, doesn't matter even who takes it, they are excelling at this right now. So level 7 talents give us also Battle Rage for Sonya, as she comes in with it. And Sonya is still sitting at the top and is somehow trying to defend against this, but let's imagine Brightwing moving. Brightwing is there too, and Brightwing just moving in with the poly and then applying more pressure. They need cooldown, they need some wave clear, and they use it here. But the heroes are quickly moving back. But I mean, the fort is already down to 50% of its HP, and Sonya is not looking any better here. So while Gul'dan is already starting to move away, Sonya has to actually hearth, and that will allow them to go for even more damage. Gul'dan is forced again towards the top. There's the portal, maybe a chance to go for Brightwing. Yes, and there it is. Okay, so that's the kind of moves that I need to see from Medivh in order to make this all worth it for them. Nice plays also from Garrosh. Has to tap the fountain here and is getting pushed back, but at least the kill that we just had, that one was a nice one. That was well done. So, as we are having them go straight in for the fort at the bot lane and applying the pressure up at the top, there is still on both lanes structural damage from them. Seems like the red team is now thinking about stealing a few camps away, but nope. Probably just double checking what's going on over there, if they can maybe interrupt something, but that wasn't really the case. They are playing catch up. They're definitely playing catch up. It's a half level advantage. Camp is now about to be taken. Again, Medivh doesn't want to be too aggressive considering that he's currently sitting at 30 stacks. There's 10 left, so you want to play it a bit safe here if you can. Sonya is alone at the top lane, but thanks to the mobility of heroes like Falstad, they should be able to deal with this quickly. And we have level 10 also kicking in for them, so those heroic abilities might even help them to get a bit of a lead. They should at least be able to go for the seed here. Red team is already falling back on this. Hogger hasn't made a choice yet, but outside of him picking a 10, we have everyone with just typical talents. Here comes the shockwave for him. And while they grab the seat at the top, I mean it's the first one for the cats, we now are going to see Rospedal also claim the heroic abilities and play this one out. Leyline, and we get leap. That was the big question mark, essentially. The only one, if we're going to get leap. Gul'dan teasing, but obviously it's going to be Horrify. We're not going to see the reign of RNG here. Again, the portal. Hogger already pogging back out, and Taichessa and Falstad could also barrel away. They didn't even have to use the cooldown, but they're starting to do structures here. I mean, this is starting to become a problem. I'm talking about losing things. Sonya, even with the leap. I actually don't understand why she leapt like this. Couldn't Sonya have just leapt out there? Am I high? Like, what exactly happened here? If you had leap available, like, why did you leap on the point there? If you try and leap away, you might still die. They might still be able to catch you, but your chances of escaping are a lot higher than that. So now they lost 2 forts. The one at the bot lane got destroyed. Falstad took care of the top. That's 2 structures already eliminated. And Hogger is just still pogging around the next camp. Seeds are popping back up, but this is starting to get more and more tricky for the teams. Well, for the red team more so than anything else. So, Brightwing already in the middle is dealing with the camp here. And what I really need from Rospedal is them gaining a little bit of momentum, making a couple of plays that are clearly signaling, hey, we're going to try and take control of the game here. All the way at the top, Sonya has to deal with this, and it's going to take a bit of time. So the team is essentially down to 4 as they're trying to make a play through the middle and maybe delay the seed, but even that is not going to be a thing. Horrify used, and with little success. The siege should be easily claimed. I mean, if they go through the portal here to try and interrupt this, then good luck. But they're not making any of those plays. They are falling behind with talents. 13 is about to kick in for the cats. And after they eliminated 2 forts on the auxiliary lanes, they're now moving into the middle to try and at least obliterate the wall here. And they have the talent. So, yep, towers are about to go down. Leyline, I mean, nice, but what are you going to do with it? Portals are in again, and the gate has been destroyed too. So they go for Hogger. Garrosh low gets out. The quest completed for Medivh. Now at least that's something that they were able to accomplish. That gives Medivh a little bit more wiggle room in regards to his plays. He can play a bit more aggressively. If he dies, it's still annoying, but it's not going to be completely reset here. And the output that he's going to now have with the quest completed is, of course, going to be much, much better. And Uburak, maybe here now an opportunity. No, Hogger again with the damage. Pox in against them. And they're still backing out. The damage output, 15,000 for Falstad. We have 17,000 for Gul'dan. Those are the respective top damage dealers on each team. Rospedal is getting very close now to grabbing themselves the level 13 talent and equalizing the situation. And talent clear, the Horrify on Brightwing finally leading to another little win for the red team. Polish team on the way to the sea, but they also gotta send someone back because Falstad is dealing with the bot lane wave and will very likely just hearth back out. But this is going to apply a little bit of damage to the wall. Sonya's already on her way, so it's not going to be too much. It's not only the experience that they need to pick up here, but you also want to prevent the wall from just easily and for free getting destroyed by the opponent's minion wave. So, yeah, there's that. On the left side, things have slowed down a little bit for the Cats too. When they were pressuring the two forts, they were doing a lot of work, but now that the forts are both gone, they are not able to do a whole lot here. They're going still to their camps, but they're losing one at the bottom left of the map now. Medivh is still protecting the potential against potential plays from their opponents. So there's nobody moving in. We have 2 seats now on each side. So basically, teams were deciding that it's time to just bank on the objective more so than anything else. So we'll see who's going to be able to claim that. Nice damage from Gul'dan as they're nibbling on the edges a bit. They have 2 camps at the bot lane, the Siege Giants and the camp that they just stole. And with Falstad not even flying down to the bottom of the map, it seems like they're just going to accept the Garden Terrors here. Now, that might not even be the worst play, considering that most of these lanes are aggressively pushed out and that they get level 16 talent. So as far as timing goes, if you have to go up against the objective on your opponent's side, this is probably the best that you can hope for. Top lane is heavily pushed back. You have a level 16 advantage over the opponent's team. You should be able to defend extremely well. Maybe lose 1 fort, but not more than that. So, as awkward as it might be at first, not a horrible choice. If that was intentional, it was definitely not a horrible choice. And I see no reason why they would not wait this out. I mean, they also wanted to wait for 16 because they know that they are probably going to get the next one for free. But no fort falling in the middle. The only thing that Rospedal is currently accomplishing with this objective is it pushes the lane out a little bit. Great. But what are you going to do with it? So the lane gets pushed back slightly. They get a bit more map control, but essentially not more than that. So that was kind of worth it. That's the opponent basically wasting 2 of their seats. Can they get the middle forts? There's Hogger at the top, Falstad at the bottom. I don't really think so. Still a 1 level advantage, and of course, once that we have a seat also for the Cats, this is where they have to then prove that they can do way more with a set of Garden Terrors. 37 stacks for Gul'dan. Rune's Affliction will be ready on 16, and he's close on the quest completion on level 1. Still haven't seen any big leap plays from Sonya, but Falstad has had an impact on the side lane. I'm a little bit curious that on a big map like this we're going to get Epic Mount. We have seen this a few times in the past. Are they really... Do they feel they have to heavily rely on Wind Tunnel? Or are we going to get Epic Mount in an attempt to control the macro game even further? Leyline is up. Shockwave from Hogger as they're getting the stuns connected. Cocoon! But oh my god, Greymane! He survives! Greymane made it! Greymane actually made it and is able to get away here. Yeah, good for him. 3-2-2 on the kill count. Not really a kill-heavy game, but definitely a tense one. It's all coming down to this one map. The fort in the middle, still getting attacked. Hogger's at the top. The red team is more aggressive around all of this. Seed is spawning, but that's the first fort that finally was taken down by Rospedal. So they're getting more aggressive with the plays that they're making here. 16 versus 16. They're moving towards the top. Try and get a hold of Hogger, but it's not working for them. the seed is up in just a second. Gul'dan with top damage in the game on 30,000. He's doubling what Hogger has. Hogger and Falstad both have the highest numbers on the blue team side, and Gul'dan has double that. It's actually kind of funny because even Medivh and Sonya have the same damage output than the top damage dealers for the Cats. They take another camp though, but the birdie, Falstad, gets leapt upon. Sonya still alive, but yes, they have to move out of this. The shockwave is in, the red team misses out on the kill, and now they are on the retreat. And the portal saves the day for them, just barely. So does Garrosh. I mean, Garrosh with a lot of moves now to make sure that nobody dies on the red team side. Horrify is in, Playline on Brightwing, and Greymane says bye-bye.
And we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And it's not the only one. My try goes down. That's Rospedol finally with some momentum. The very early stages of the game didn't look too good for them. But now they took just a fort out. They have a double kill. They picked the seed up that would have spawned Garden Terrors for the blue team. They're closing the experience gap a little bit, albeit not completely. I mean, it's basically still a one-level gap, but they are finally making a couple of moves. And it allows them to move in and take those camps away. Now again, keep in mind how we got here. This is actually with Cats moving through the winner bracket. They were the favorite coming into the series here. And initially, the Cats actually lost on the first map, despite the fact that they went on the core and took 50% off Rospedol's core. They lost a few too many heroes there, and arguably this was one of the moments where the red team was able to get back into the game. But with the Cho'Gall victory on Battlefield of Eternity, Rospedol started the lead in the series. And then afterwards, on Towers of Doom, the Cats brought it back, forced game number 3, and looked pretty powerful in the early stages. Now they're locking in level 20 talents, and this should really allow them to go for the seed and on for Garden Terrors. The question has, by the way, been answered. We get Wind Tunnel after all, and we have also the Power Spike with the upgrade for Hogger. Rewind for Anubarak, and this is going to be Garden Terrors. This is really the moment when the Cats have to absolutely crush it. You have a level 20 advantage, you have Garden Terrors, and you have even the additional camp here. Now, they need to make some moves to not only... They can't just simply go for the fort here. They need to do more than that. They have to start and go for some keeps. Maybe even at the bot lane. The Garden Terror is obviously very far away. Probably not going to have an impact, honestly, now that I look at it. But top lane, mid lane, they need to make some actual moves. With that Storm Talon advantage, that's pretty much the only thing that really matters right now. Exploit those Garden Terrors as best as you can. The wall already about to fall here, but so does the Garden Terror. And Sonya's defending at the top lane, where Hogger is helping the next Garden Terror too. They are getting through the wall, and they're getting damage in on the keep, but it's not really going to be enough. Topside wall has also more or less been destroyed. Here in the middle, they got the keep down to 50% of its HP as they're still poking, but the red team is getting closer and closer to their own level 20 talent. Still some damage down at the bottom of the map with this all pushing in, but unlikely that they're going to be able to rotate over and do significant damage. Maybe the wall gets destroyed, but yeah, I guess they're going to try, because 20 is about to hit for Rospedol, and then we're even in talent. Structurally, the Cats are a bit ahead, so they're getting damage in here too, but they're instantly falling back upon level 20 being connected. They also want to make sure that Medivh is not simply stopping them with another quick ley line. I mean, at this point he started cheating with his level 20, which even Blizzard officially acknowledges. So 4 kills to 4. I mean, as far as third games go, this is about as close as it gets. Both teams on level 20 talents, 4 kills to 4. Structurally very similar. 1 fort being the difference at the top lane. And any team fight from here on out could end the game. Damage output, yeah, it's still Gul'dan. That's not going to change. Sonya and Hogger have basically identical damage. Greymane is still trailing. You would have expected Greymane to at some point really make a bigger splash here and get higher damage numbers than Hogger, but Hogger is the top damage dealer for the blue team. Whereas Sonya has also, I mean, again, she didn't go for Wrath of the Berserker, she went for Leap, but she died now 3 times in total, so she is an easy target for them. Siege Giants at the top with the camp. Somebody has to take care of that eventually, but the red team is kind of stuck down at the bottom of the map. And it seems like we might actually see a fight there. So that top lane play could threaten the keep, depending on how long this lasts. So 2 heroes get hit by the ley line. Portal is already set up. Horrify and Wind Tunnel both use Garrosh, Leap, and Taichessa goes down. Falstad is eliminated. It took a long time to get the kill, but they did get it. Greymane also mega low and has to retreat too. They are losing ground here, and they're losing it quickly. My try, nope, not with them, but this is the problem. Up at the top lane, that keep is losing hit points quickly. Sonya is trying to move back, and Hearth, and even that is essentially just preventing the worst case scenario. They are saving the keep, but it is already dangerously low. And with Falstad on your team, if at any point he can get close enough, he will take it out. He could technically try and backdoor it. So that was a lot of damage. They got a seed out of it, so they have 2 seeds to 0. But here comes the ley line again. They want to set it up for Hogger, and he just spins out. Unimpressed. Well, maybe a little bit impressed. Spin to win, baby! Yeah, and that is... He's alive! And gets the shockwave connected hard! But he dies anyways. It's a little bit of a sad moment. They were looking so good, and it seemed for just a second like they might be the ones to get a kill. The wind tunnel into the cocoon, but he gets Lucio. So they get both of the kills. They get Lucio and they get Gul'dan. It looked a little bit wonky at first, but they are able to lock 2 kills in. And now it is a 3 versus... No, it's a 4 versus 3 now. So... yeah, can they get the keep at the bottom? They should be able to do something here. I mean, at the minimum, you want to have those siege giants. But the bot lane defending this with only 3 heroes is going to be a bit spicy. There's no Lucio, there's no Gul'dan. So a lot of the tools that you would like to have in a situation like this are already missing. And the blue team is trying to exploit this by trying to go for the keep. And the keep at the top is also about to eat even more damage. So if they're diligent about this, they don't even have to stop here. They can try to get more than that. They're looking for kills right now. And Nubarak, though, thrown into the middle, gets body blocked, and is able to get away. What about Brightwing, though? Brightwing a bit low. They heal, and they are saving the Fruit Fly. But as I said before, that top side keep in trouble. The catapult. Another shot. One more, and... they can't drop it. The keep still there. 1 keep has been eliminated. The second one is still standing. That's, by the way, the problem when your opponent still has a fort on the map and you just don't. It's catapults galore, and at some point it just mounts up to too much pressure. It's a wild finish here. 6 kills to 6 now. 54,000 damage from Gul'dan, and finally Greymane has taken his rightful spot at the top of the food chain on the blue team. 41,000 damage for him. Moving past Hogger, moving past Falstad. So, yep, he's finally there. Bot lane, there's going to be a lot of pressure. Again, the flip, the taunt, and Hogger gets saved by Brightwing just to die a moment later. And now they're following it up with a potential second kill. Brightwing is on the run, dodges the ley line, doesn't dodge the spear, and with Lucio chasing them down, this is going to be too much to handle. No, it isn't! They saved him with the target! And what an escape! Glorious! Falstad with some massive moves. Didn't have Wind Tunnel, by the way. Really just trying to provide a blink target for Brightwing. That was amazing. If Brightwing dies, they might have... I mean, if Brightwing dies, 100% to keep in the middle of the fort. At a minimum. Maybe more than that. But Falstad just with an absolute sick city play. Now we get Garden Terrors, though. All of that still resulted in Rospierdoll grabbing the seed and getting the Garden Terrors. So... yeah, how much damage can be done by the red team now? If they can take down some keeps here, this would go a long, long way. We are 23 minutes in. Catapult's hurt right now. Catapult's definitely hurt, but that Garden Terror wave allows Rospierdoll to take control of the map again. They are pushing every single lane back. The top fort is, of course, gone. The keep in the middle, gone. But can they go for more keeps than that? Can they go for the core? That's the question. That's a big question right here. So this keep is gonzo. Top fort about to be eliminated. Still the Garden Terror at the bottom of the map. But Rospedol wants to end it right here. So at the bot lane, they're not going for the core. They're realizing that they most likely are not going to be able to take it. So they just portal away. They are looking at a second keep. That's the idea right now. Get that second keep. I'm not sure if they can though. The Garden Terror is gone in a moment. And by the way, even the top side fort is gone. With the catapults that were pushing through the top lane the entire time and us being 23, 24 minutes into the game already, the catapults defended. The catapults defended against the Garden Terror. So the only thing that was destroyed is the keep in the middle, which was essentially gone already. And of course they pushed the entire map back. Control was in the hands of the cats before. Now map control is in the hands of their opponents. 61,000 damage from Gul'dan against the 50,000 from Greymane on the top damage dealer side. That top lane, by the way, somebody needs to go for it. If those catapults and that massive stack at minions that we see for the blue team makes it towards the keep, not only does that keep fall, catapults will very likely damage the core. Falstad looking for an angle here. Yeah, a little bit late to the party, my friend. I don't mind the idea of getting the Gust out, but that was... If you're playing from an A cross server, then I can understand how that happened, but this one was a bit wonky. So there's again the trap on Anubarak. He's trying to get away and gets caught and killed. These ley lines into Garrosh setups are just too strong, and there's the double kill. Both Anubarak and Brightwing are gone. They're going for my try. He dies as well. It's party time right now. They play for a game. It seems like Rospedol makes the losers bracket run happen. They are pushing through. They can't stay lost in the winner bracket final. And now they're on the verge of losing in the losers bracket as well. Getting eliminated from the group and having to go through the last chance qualifier. Greymane is gone, and even with Gus coming back up, 5-man team wipe. It's a victory. Rospedol goes to the playoffs. GG, well played. What a finish on Garden of Terror. GG.